Hi, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of CommTALK by BVS Film Productions. And today I've got a really special guest. His name is Josh Bachynski. I always get that right. I want to make sure.
Close enough.
Close enough?
That's
Okay.
good. I've
Good,
heard
good.
worse versions. Yeah.
All right. He is a CEO, marketing consultant, author, a technologist, AI philosopher, TED talker as well. Welcome, Josh. I'm glad to have you on the show today.
I'm super happy to be here, Dan.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, we talked, I would say about a year ago. Would you say that's about
Mm.
right?
A year or two, yeah.
Yeah. So tell the audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure. So I do a lot of things. I'm kind of a jack of all trades.
Mm-hmm.
As you mentioned, I'm a CEO of a software company called SEO Copilot. And how I make the money is I reverse engineer AIs in general, Google specifically. And I have a mastermind group. It's called Underground SEO University, and I sell
Nice.
those kind of secrets to wealthy Americans. Hopefully, I don't have to put a tariff on anything I'm selling lately. I don't know. I haven't checked the tariffs lately, but no, I kid, I kid.
Uh,
And that's how they make the money there. But as we were discussing before the podcast, I play music. I've
yeah.
been very enthusiastic with music for a very long time. My wife and I are writing a novel from a tabletop role playing game that I made. Dungeons and
Nice.
Dragons wasn't nerdy enough for me, so it wasn't nerdy enough for me. He says he pushes his glasses up his nose, so I made my own tabletop role playing game similar to Dungeons and Dragons, but it
Yeah. Yeah.
includes fantasy and sci-fi, and it's set at the end of the universe, at the end of time.
Nice.
And the tagline, the hook is when nothing matters, because the universe is going to end, right? Entropy is going to win. The universe will eventually fizzle out to nothingness. There's nothing to stop this. So
Yeah.
when nothing matters, what do you do? So
Ah.
we try to explore those questions there, and that segues into both my wife and I, or ex-academics, as we were also talking about. I
Mm-hmm.
did a master's degree in philosophy. She did in English literature. We both had BAs in a Great Books program, which is a liberal studies. They don't really
Mm-hmm.
do this kind of program anymore. It's up in Nanaimo, which is a beautiful town.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's where Nanaimo bars come from. It's a
By the
beautiful
way,
town.
you're from Canada, right?
Yeah,
That's
I'm
right.
from
Okay.
Canada. If
Yeah.
you hadn't noticed by my accent, although
The
I'm
slight accent.
I'm from Western Canada, and the accent is very slight. It's
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
Eastern
Yeah.
Canada where you get deeper, like Toronto.
Yeah. The
Or,
don't you
or
knows. Yeah.
yeah, as we say, Toronto. You can always tell a
Okay.
Canadian. If we say Toronto, we're
Mm-hmm.
Canadian. If we say Toronto, you're not from anywhere near there, right?
Ah, okay. I'll know that
That's
next time.
that's one telltale sign. Plus roof and sorry, like we couldn't
Uh,
do the sound and those things. But I
yeah.
usually say sorry. I don't. I watch too much American television. I have just kind of a general accent. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and then we were doing PhDs and that. We looked at each other and realized academia is stupid. We don't want to be here, so we left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also I build artificial intelligences. I'm a philosopher. I've written books on philosophy, and as we're discussing right before this, I'm still inspired by the big questions. And life is wonderful. Life is amazing. Life
Wow.
is getting stranger and stranger and more interesting every day. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here, and let's get into it.
Well, I got to tell you, it's really refreshing talking to somebody with such an outstanding attitude about life. I was going to ask you, what was the name? Did you have a name for your game? Is it a tabletop game or what?
Yeah. So it's
Okay,
like Dungeons and Dragons. It's called Gaia.
Gaia.
And we
Okay,
actually have a
just
YouTube
for our
stream where
fans.
we were trying to make a show, like a critical role kind of show.
Okay,
Sadly, it
all right,
never
that's
really
a good
took
idea.
off, but we
Yeah,
had people, because I made a mistake. I thought people love tabletop role playing games like I do,
yeah,
and they're gonna want to watch anyone presenting a good narrative, a good story with good
yeah.
acting.
Mm-hmm.
That would be video that I thought everyone would want to watch.
Yeah.
Wrong. What they want to watch is Dungeons and Dragons because that's all they know. They played Dungeons and Dragons. They don't
Oh,
realize there's
yeah,
50 other tabletop RPGs like MERPs and
yeah.
Vampire the Masquerade and a million other tabletop role playing games that I guess they're not as quite as nerdy as I am.
Uh,
Well, old. It's old. Here's all the gray that I was talking about. I hid before last time we talked, and now I'm letting the gray come out. But
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
but
distinguished. That's the way I look at it.
thank you,
Yeah,
distinguished. Yes,
sorry.
that's the way. But we love doing it, and
Yeah.
it's such
Okay.
an interesting project from a creative standpoint.
Mm,
I'm sure some of your listeners, like you're an avid musician and you're a video producer. I'm sure a lot of your listeners are artists as well. And it was
Yeah.
very interesting. It was very interesting from a creative standpoint because we got this organic kind of table read of what
Hmm.
the novels or the stories are going to be. And we kind of
Yeah.
co-created it with a bunch of
Hmm.
other friends. And then we decided to novelize it because my wife is a beautiful writer. And we decided to novelize it. And our first book is going to be coming out. And the title of the book is How It Ends. And as we were
Nice.
discussing, it's about the end of the time, about the end of the universe.
Wow.
And
Huh.
will the forces of darkness win, or will the heroes of light be able? Will the heroes of light win, or will the forces of darkness be able to make the universe sleep forever? Because the main villain is the goddess of death. She's kind of like the Nothing out of Neverending Story. If anyone's read that
Uh,
or seen that movie from the '80s,
oh, okay. Yeah, I know this
except
one.
she's a beautiful Shiva kind of goddess
Uh-huh.
incarnation of this,
Hmm.
and she wants the universe and time to end because she's very tired. She's tired.
Oh, yeah.
She's so sick of all this life whining on, and she wants it to finish and end finally.
Yeah, a
And
lot of
she's
people
chasing
feel
the
that way
heroes.
sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right,
Well,
right.
of course, because of our background in philosophy and great books, we're tying
Hmm.
in Plato, we're tying in Nietzsche, especially because Nietzsche is the last greatest philosopher that
Hmm.
no one has answered yet. Quite frankly, there
Hmm.
hasn't been a string of philosophers who've answered Nietzsche's challenge yet.
Mm.
It's actually fascinating to get into if you want to get into it.
Yeah.
He's the one who started
Interesting.
postmodernism. He's the one who started truth as subjectivity. He's the one who
Hmm.
started that there is no moral truth. Before Nietzsche, they thought, of course, there's a moral truth. It's God or Christianity or
Yeah.
Islam. They still think it's Islam over there, right? Because this is the
Hmm.
West, and that's where we get that's where all this comes from. Donald
Yeah.
Trump comes directly from Friedrich Nietzsche, right?
Really interesting.
Yeah, because alternate facts, fake fake truths or whatever. That is completely all of Nietzsche's thought,
Hmm.
far right wing, very authoritarian thought
Hmm.
that went to the Nazis and they almost destroyed us. That was his 1-2 punch combination. Nietzsche literally said, I don't know if this is interesting to anyone, but I love talking about this. So
Uh,
Nietzsche literally said, I'm going to destroy liberal democracy. Why? Because they're whining little cucks and I hate them. I'm paraphrasing slightly, didn't use the word cuck, of course, but that's the exact same kind of sentiment, right? He liked the samurai, he liked Egyptians, he liked strong cultures that made great art, like the pyramids,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
amazing
Yeah.
edifices that would last thousands of years, or the great cathedrals
Yeah. Right.
that took 200 years to build and
Hmm.
has this beautiful, awe-inspiring art. That's what he wanted. And then
Interesting. Yeah.
all that far right wing thought got pulled into the Nazism. That was his first right punch, which almost destroyed liberal democracy.
Yeah.
His subtle jab that's coming, it's slowly coming at us, and it's just catching us on the jaw now like this, is that he completely undermined the notion of truth and of moral truth. And that's where we get subjectivity, creativity, lifestyles,
Hmm.
values. None of those concepts existed before Nietzsche. And he did it on
Interesting.
purpose to undermine us.
Wow.
So yeah, so we're dealing
Heavy
with all
stuff.
those kinds of issues in this work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if anyone's interested, check it out. Check it out.
Okay. Okay. Good. Well, I'm going to switch this around a little bit and talk a little bit more about business. We've got a lot of business people that come onto the show,
Hmm.
and that, but very interesting. So, since we talked last a year ago, we talked about AI. ChatGPT, I think, was just coming out
We
mainstream
did.
from what we're
Yeah.
seeing. And believe it or not, a lot of customers, people I talk to, don't know what it is. They
Hmm.
still don't know what it is.
Hmm.
They're still
Hmm.
using, Google, and it's me. I jumped on it, but what's next? What's going on? What happened between last year and now?
That's an excellent question. So the answer is interesting. The answer is absolutely nothing and
Okay.
a whole lot, right?
All
So
right.
it's kind of like this shark is still under the water and that dorsal fin is just kind of poking up a bit, but there's a big
Yeah.
shark under there. Or like the iceberg metaphor, there's a huge thing on the horizon coming.
Hmm.
And everyone kind of went a little crazy a few years ago and thought that, AGI, artificial general intelligence, or what some call the singularity,
Yeah.
that's when AI becomes generally more intelligent and creative than us. And we can no longer, and they think because of this, we can no longer control it, which is totally a farce. But anyway, that's not how AI works. But anyway, I can dispel all these myths very, very easily and quickly. But what has happened since then? ChatGPT has gotten a little smarter. It's gotten a little more sophisticated. It is a completely robust research tool. You can use the 4.5 version with research, and it will do a deep dive research paper, which is better than any undergrad. We're getting to like master's level of
Yeah.
accuracy, of
Yeah.
depth, of importance. It's starting to get useful. It's starting to get actually, you can trust it. You can say like, for example, I'm into a lot of different stuff. I'm also really into extraterrestrials and the ancient alien hypothesis from von Daniken
Yeah.
from Chariots of the Gods from the 60s. Did he write that? The 70s?
Yeah.
I'm
Same.
fascinated. I'm fascinated by these ideas, and also another character by the name of Dr. Stephen Greer, who is an infamous ER doctor who has interviewed something like 761 whistleblowers from this legacy program that they rumor exists that's been reverse engineering alien tech since even before Roswell, actually.
Really?
Since they got Nazi materials. We've circled back to the Nazis, yeah. Since they got Nazi materials. You wanted to get
I
away
can't
from
tell you
them,
how
God,
much
I
we hear
said.
that over here on our end. It's like, geez,
Jeez.
there's two
It
sides of
just
this
comes-
country. It drives me nuts.
It just comes back to that, yeah. But they had really Mussolini had an alien craft. It was rumored, and the Nazis were into this quite a bit.
They had the
this
Das
spooky-
Bell, that bell
yeah,
thing they would try
Der
when they
Clock, right? Yeah, like a gravimetric
time machine. Wasn't it supposed to be a time machine or something?
It was a gravimetric. It's supposed to be a craft. There's different myths, but
Yeah.
I think the general myth it was supposed to be a craft that used high frequency electrical currents.
Yeah.
Think of like Tesla and things like that,
Yeah.
and was able to defy gravity from that. And they've actually reversed. Greer claims weird. You want to get weird? Really weird claims. I won't even get into it, but my point is that I wanted to learn his cosmology though, because he claims after 30 years to know how the actual universe works and how the extraterrestrials work and things like that. And I don't know if it's true or false. I'm not saying it's true or false. All I'm saying is that I'm really fascinated by it. It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what I did is I got but I don't have time to buy his books that are like this thick. He's been writing since the 90s.
I know I'm already knowing what you're going to do. You said.
You know what I'm going to say.
I'm
So
already, yeah.
I said, ChatGPT 4.5 research. I want to know Dr. Stephen Greer's cosmology, and I don't want to hear your opinion. I don't care whether you think it's true or false. I'm a big boy. I'll take it under advisement. I'm not going to just start believing it because I read it. But at the same time, I don't want you to spend your time, trying to talk me off a ledge, because the AI will do that a lot, right? Anything that's controversial, it'll try to talk down. Not necessarily left or right. Anything that's controversial, it'll try to talk down.
Yeah.
I also get it to do a lot of studying and reading of scientific papers into the bird flu epidemic that we have going on right now.
Oh, really?
H5N1 in animal populations around the world,
Yeah.
which has become zoonotic and it's spread from birds to mammals.
Whoa.
And also H7N9, which is also flaring up as well, and could also combine with H5N1. AI tells me I wouldn't know any of this without ChatGPT researching it and then explaining it to me.
Yeah.
Of how these can combine into a Frankenvirus, and we could possibly, if that happens, if that happens, we could be looking at another pandemic. And so I have also the feature in ChatGPT. It does a daily search for any new news on H5N1. I want to know the second that scientists have confirmed human-to-human transmission, because then I know I have 3 months to buy my food and water, right?
So I've got a question. What I have 3 or 4.0, the paid version. I don't see a 4.5.
That's a good guess. So that's a good question. So I'm a
Or
plus
the extra.
user.
What are some of these extra things that you can get? That's really cool because I would get them.
I'm a plus user. I
Okay.
pay $20 a month, I think it is.
Me too. I
let
have
me
that deep
say-
research, but I don't. It doesn't call it
Yeah.
4.5.
I think
Maybe
you
it just
get
does
access
it.
to 4.5. I think you need to click on the thing on the top. It says GPT 4.0. Click it and see if 4.5 is one of the options.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't done that.
And
Okay. I'll check it out.
4.5 is that much smarter when it comes to research. Not with the one-off questions. It's not
Yeah.
that much better than 4.0 or 4.0 mini, the
Mhm.
4 Omni. It's not that much smart than that. But when you're getting it to do the deep dive research, it really is smart. And I also have another app built in whenever I ask it any science questions called Consensus. Consensus is a new AI search engine
Mhm.
that also has a GPT add-on. So it's a whole separate company, but they've made a GPT add-on for ChatGPT. And I
Mhm.
say check Consensus, and it will check peer-reviewed actual academic journal articles. The more peer-reviewed, the more established the scientific the
Wow.
more it prioritizes those answers. So I'm getting not crazy conspiracy theories necessarily of people on the web. When I ask it scientific questions, I'm not getting opinion. I'm getting what science is saying. This is the state of the art, right?
Nice.
These are the academic papers, and
Yeah.
then it reads it and explains all the scientific terminology to me that I don't understand. And that's how I learned all this stuff about H5N1 and H7N9. And
Wow.
so it is in a way, not much has happened in terms of changes in kind since we last talked, but in terms of changes of degree, it's ratcheted up, it's gotten better. Other AIs have come onto the market now that are just amazing. First off, there's Runway, which I'm sure, Dan, you've heard of because it
Hmm.
produces video.
Yeah.
And there's Sora, of course, which also produces video, which I'm sure you are well aware of. And they're starting to get pretty good. Not
They
too
are.
bad.
They
You
are.
get
In the
sometimes
East.
an arm with another arm off of here, and
Well, that
yeah,
and you can't at this point. It's difficult to make revisions to it to exactly what
yes,
you want, but it's getting
yes.
there and it's getting better every day, which is
It
shocking.
is. It
Yeah.
is. It is. Another one that I love that you are going to love, Dan, if you haven't heard of this, is Suno.
Mm-mm.
Suno. It's for music. Oh my God,
Ah,
Dan. I'm going to blow your mind. You never have to pay for royalty music again.
isn't that crazy?
You want an instrumental for some B-roll, you want some background music for editing,
Yeah.
and you want it to hit this at this point and hit that at that point. Suno.
Wow. I'll check it out.
Suno. If you get if you get the paid license with Suno, you
Hmm.
get commercial rights to the music, at least right now. If you don't, you can still produce it for free, but you don't have any
Yeah.
commercial rights to it. But if you want to listen to it personally, you don't need any commercial rights to make money
Right.
off the music, right? For your
Wow.
purposes, for video editing, Dan, of course, you're going to need the commercial rights,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
For right now, I tell people, and you would not believe the quality of the music. It is so good.
Wow.
AI is so freakishly good, way better than it is at text,
Isn't that
way
crazy?
better than it is at video. For some reason, the formulaic nature, and again, Dan, you're a musician, so I know you're going to appreciate this.
Mm-hmm.
The formulaic nature of Western music, of our seven note scale
Hmm.
system, is highly mathematically predictable,
Yeah.
right? Because at the end of the day, there's only so many chords, right? And we can do a drop five, diminish this, and we can do it, and we
Hmm.
could get into just different, like sitar chords, and we can start bringing in different kind of chord,
Yeah.
structures. The Greek one that was five notes, the Indian one, which I can't remember how many notes it is, but there's different tunings, and whatnot.
Hmm.
It's still all so mathematical, and you would not believe the quality of music you
Oh
get
yeah.
spit out of it, and the quality of singing, the quality of the
It
singing out
really
of it.
isn't that
You
something?
just,
That's
I
amazing.
could show you on the show if you want. Like people might be interested in a demo of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you want me to show you?
let's see it. Sure. Let's
All
hear
right,
it.
let's do it. Yeah. So if you turn on sharing, we can go there.
Let's do it. Okay. You should be good.
All right. Now let me go here. And when I share this, I'm going to share the sound so you hear it when I'm playing it. So just make sure that there's not like a looping of my voice. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So I'm sharing now. Are you getting a looping at all?
Not yet. No, we're good.
Okay. Hopefully it doesn't show my password here. That's I should have
Oh,
logged in
we got it
first.
already.
There we go. Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So here I am now. It is useful for so many things. You could see I've made so much music here already.
Cool.
This, listen, let me play you this piece of music that I've already done. And another thing I'm really into is hypnosis. You see my hypnosis folder here?
Hmm.
I have an anxiety disorder.
Hmm.
And what I've done recently is make music with hypnotic suggestion in it.
Oh,
So let
nice.
me play a piece of music. I'm trying to find the latest one. Sorry, I wasn't ready for this demo. So
No,
let
go
me
ahead.
let me play this piece of music here, and you'll hear how good it is, and let me know if it's loud enough. Actually, this is terrible. Never mind. This is
Gotta
a
bring it
bad example.
up. Sorry.
Where's a good example here? Uh, uh, this is a good one. Can you hear that?
No, we gotta bring it up a little bit. There you go.
How's that?
A little better. You could probably go higher. Yeah, there you go.
Actually safe now. Josh, actually calm now. Josh,
and you can see the lyrics on the side.
Nice.
All good now. Josh, feeling safe is better. Josh, feeling
Now,
calm is better.
that's not bad for
No,
10
that's great.
for 10 seconds of work. That's not bad, right?
Yeah, that is
Now
so
wait till,
cool.
yeah, wait till we get to the chorus here.
Conscious it can be fun enough.
It can actually make some pretty nice music. Wait for this.
Josh, subconscious it is fine enough now. Josh, all good now.
So it goes on like that.
I love it.
And so like we could make anything right now that you want. Like, so let's do this live.
Okay.
And then weep at how easily this does this, because we're old musicians and we're like,
Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
our advantage is melting away. You know, although I like to use this, and then you could just cover this. You could generate songs and just cover it, right?
Isn't that cool?
You could make a whole album, 10 songs. You could do it in a day.
Yeah. Well,
And then
we're
you just
finding
learn
out.
to cover
We're finding out we're becoming facilitators of this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? People don't want to learn it. They want to just do it and have it done.
Mhm.
So that, I think, is where I envision groups like ours are becoming that more than
Yes.
anything, which is very interesting.
Yeah. I think it's going to be less grunt work, more time for strategy, higher level creative work,
Yeah.
and higher level management.
Well, and everything's always, there's always disruptors, and it's just a matter of, staying at least to the point where you can communicate with the people around you about that, It's interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. So do you want to generate a song on the fly and see what we can do?
Let's do it.
All right. So again, I don't work for Suno. I have nothing to do with these guys or ChatGPT for that matter.
Yeah.
But it's that good. Okay, so what kind of song do you want to make?
Let's make
pop?
let's make a disco song about
Sure.
BVS film productions. How's that sound?
Disco song. Let's go.
Eurodance or whatever you would call it.
Song about how awesome. And sorry, what was it? What was it again? It was
B as in boy, V as in Victor, S as in Sam, film productions. Which is soon going to be media group instead of film productions. We haven't gotten there yet.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So I said auto. Let's write the thing, and we're going to want to do a disco song, yeah. Or do you want to see like if we could make something that actually sounds good, or you could actually use?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Like disco?
No, I don't like. Well, I'm thinking what the average person would like. Maybe like a Euro dance music might be effective.
Eurodance, synth, yeah, sure. Electronica, sure. We could do something like that. What keys do we want to? Do we want certain keys we want it in?
How about A, D, and E?
Key
1, 3, 5. A, D, and E. A,
progression A, D, and E. All right, and so let's auto generate the song here. Oh, okay, hold on. Oops, got rid of that. So let's do the full song. Take this, full song, do that, write lyrics.
And I think people don't realize it does this while you wait, right?
Mm-hmm.
Normally it's like a few seconds, like there's the words. There's the lyrics.
Boom. Boom, there we go. And so now we create it. We'll go up here. It's going to give us 2 versions, and it's going to do the first minute. And if we keep listening, it'll keep auto generating after that.
Isn't that cool?
Doesn't take long.
And you can download it as like an MP4 or something like that.
Yeah, you can download it, and you get 2 stems. You get the stem with the vocals and the stem without the vocals right now.
Oh my goodness!
As soon as they are able to give you every instrument in this, like just come on, that'll be nuts, right?
I know, really, like 16 tracks.
Right. So let's listen to the first one here. I'll turn my sound way up. All right, let's take a listen.
Bring it up a little more. This blows me away.
In the BVS show. here's the intro for your podcast.
That's right. I should have done it for our podcast name.
Yeah. Okay, this one's a little cheesy, but it's good.
What?
Ooh, halftime.
Oh, it's got a bridge.
Yeah. This is the chorus, I think. There
Love
we
it.
go. Yeah. And so that's this one. Let's listen to the other one it gave us. Ooh. This one's better. This one's pretty good. And here's the chorus. Try to hit that note.
Wow, dude. That's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Can you send me those in the MP4? And
Of
I'll
course,
put it in
of course I
post
can.
here.
Oh,
So
sure,
it
of
really
course.
comes through. Is that in stereo?
Yeah, it should be.
Oh
So
my
I can
God.
download. Do you want the WAV or the MP3?
MP3. I'm sorry. That'd be great.
Yeah, sure.
Smaller,
Yeah.
I
And
think.
so you just download the ones. I haven't listened to them.
Wow.
I haven't quite listened to enough of this one yet. I have to listen to more of it to produce more of it.
No, that's
But,
so cool. Well, you know what? And this is things that people can, I mean, this is kind of like in our industry, but everything you're showing me right now for our industry, there are things for other people, like other industries that are
Yes.
exactly the same. And
Yeah.
I don't think people understand what's coming, and how what you can do with it.
It's nuts. It's nuts. Robots are just starting now to also get financially feasible. Voice AI voice AI agents are not quite there yet to be able to answer your phone,
90%.
but they're
90%.
very close. They're a good
Yeah.
90% there. I have my co-founder who started my AI company with. He's moved off in that direction,
Yeah.
and he says they're just about ready get all of your secretaries and receptionists and phone people to do other work because now the AI will handle all that. You
Yeah.
don't need to talk to anybody on the phone anymore. Very, very soon in the future, like I said last time, there will be nothing but AIs talking to AIs. AIs scheduling our meetings, AIs scheduling this. There's even AIs making podcasts, for crying out loud. Since last time we talked, I don't know if this was out yet, but Google's Notebook LM, which is that kind of a studying tool. You can upload any kind of source files to it and click generate podcast, and it generates a guy and a girl talking, sounding like a
Wow.
general podcast. You could have 20 minutes of podcast on anything you want,
Wow.
just produced like that, and it's not that bad either.
Yeah.
I've heard worse podcasts for sure. so it's quite amazing the kind of stuff that's coming out, and you could do with
Yeah.
it. That's about everything that I think has come out since last time. A lot of under the hood stuff is going on.
Yeah.
Google's
Well-
now rolled out their AI mode and AI overview, and they're starting to show that at the top of search results quite a bit.
Yeah.
But luckily, my mastermind group, we've reverse engineered how they did that. Sorry, no. What did he say? I didn't say anything. No.
Rebranded as something else. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Censored.
Yeah.
But now we see how that's going to work, and so a whole new industry now and my software automates SEO for you. At least the first 50% of what you need to do, called the on-page work, like creating the web page. The AI does that. The AI analyzes every niche and sees how much money it has and sees how hard it is to rank for, and then it builds the pages for you. And it does 90% of the work, 90% well, 90% of the time. And so the last bit is exactly what you said, Dan. That's what our jobs are going to be. We're not handwriting content anymore, and when you go to film something, it's going to be something you actually want to film, or you're going to do your expert job only a human could do. You can get the B-roll. You don't have to buy any more B-roll either. You can get all the B-roll from Sora or from Runway,
Yeah.
showing this, doing that.
Well, I had a
Some of
customer yesterday with a podcast. They're like, "Hey, can you make I needed an extra line in one of my podcasts, and
yeah.
I'm out somewhere else. Can you have it done?" And I'm like, "Well, let me think about that." So I gave it to my son. He's really into the AI world.
Hmm.
He says, "Yeah, give me the podcast." Took it the
Yep.
podcast.
Yep.
He just said it. I mean, not just audio, like the dude on camera said
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Just blew me away. And I
Yep.
said, there's an ethical thing there. And I said, you sure you want me to do it? He goes, yeah, make the AI me. And I'm like, okay, buddy, here it is. I wanted to
Yeah.
get an email thing on that one. But it was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. And the TV shows that I've watched, and that's commercially available.
Yeah,
You could do right now, right?
yeah.
The TV shows that I'm watching, if they put up AI generated content, they'll just put a little disclaimer: digitally created
Yeah,
content.
yeah, yeah.
Some places are really aggressive against it, and I understand why. And there needs to
Hmm.
be some guardrails put in place and some thinking about that. But
Hmm.
but I want to say for the AI story, it is overwhelmingly positive. It's going to free people up. It's going to enable people like they've never been enabled before. I mean, just think of the music there. Like if you just want to make your own music, you just want to make your own music, whatever it is, you can do that personally, privately. It is
Interesting.
amazing how quickly you can generate this kind of stuff,
Hmm.
and you can sound like here's another idea. Like people like I said, my wife and I were finishing this novel, the first novel, part one, How It Ends,
Hmm.
and people in that industry are very angry with AI. Obviously they don't want people just generating a 300-page book that the AI wrote and then just mass producing this kind of low level drivel content. But well, here's the good news: is that AI is not very good at advanced writing. It's not very good at nuance. It's not very good at wordsmithing because the way our brain wordsmiths sentences to sound beautiful is kind of a level of abstraction above just simple alliteration. Like if you
Yeah,
ask the
yeah,
AI, can you make a sentence that uses alliteration? It says, I certainly can. I can make the sentence scintillating and super. Like it can do that, right? But that was a cheesy sentence. Like that was almost as bad as It's a Dark and Stormy Night. Like it can't
yeah.
produce
It's got to
that kind of
scrape the
content.
cheese spread off because it's on
Yeah,
almost
yeah,
everything.
exactly.
Yeah.
But my wife is she was a late adopter to AI because she's part of these writing groups, and she's kind of like, I'm
Hmm.
not sure. But I said, no, honey, trust me. You could you got to listen to me. Like it's going to be useful. And so
Yeah.
she just started workshopping with it and getting it to correct her grammar and asking it questions about flow and content and
Yeah.
comparing to other authors and finding out what genre we're in. Because we're doing both sci-fi and fantasy, and we're kind of like, okay, well, which one are we? Are we science fantasy? Are we dark fairy tale? Are we dark fantasy science fiction? Like there's all these there's many classifications, and we're trying to find out where we fit and where we should fit to
Yeah.
try to find our audience the best. And that's where it excels because it's the crystallized wisdom of the crowds. And anytime that people online have been giving good help and tips, it's got all that on steroids right there for you instantly.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
for example, for my niche of search engine optimization, it's terrible because there's been too many people produce too much content in search engine optimization who have no idea what they're talking about and just put out drivel. And we produce a lot of content is the other problem. And so when you ask the AI how to do SEO, it's terrible. It has no idea how to do it.
Oh,
If you ask it how to do brain surgery, it's terrible. It has no idea how to do it because brain surgeons don't go online and discuss how brain surgery works.
I see.
However, for everything else that people have been yammering on online forever, how to do psychology, what it is, health related things like anything that's consumable by the general public, it is a 30-year mastering. And
Wow.
so it immediately said, oh yeah, your novel is a very high level and it's very interesting and people are going to love this and you compare to these authors, blah 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 blah
Mm.
blah. And how do you think I compare to Stephen King? Well, Stephen King does this and this, but you do this and this. And and it's do you want me to come up with a game plan of how you could change your writing
Yeah.
more to this? It's
Hmm.
like just for brainstorming and bouncing ideas off of. I don't know if it's because we're spicy. She has ADHD, I have autism.
Hmm.
Maybe because we're spicy, we're like, yes, computer. Like we totally like gravitate into it. I don't know if that's the
Yeah.
case, but just use it as an assistant, and it can really help you out. It's tremendously amazing.
So let me ask you this. For someone that's just starting out, like I had a customer last week, I went in, what is ChatGPT? We don't know nothing about this stuff. Where do we begin? Maybe you can kind of give them a step one.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I mean, just go to ChatGPT, Google it. Be very careful. This is the 1990s on steroids, right? Remember the dot-com boom.
Hmm.
Remember before there was an internet? Remember before there was a web and
Yep.
this new browser Firefox came out? Ooh, ah.
Yeah.
We're around that level where, yeah, ChatGPT is the new toy, the new thing, right? The new shiny new object. But Google isn't even on the scene yet. We're going to go through like three different browsers until Internet Explorer is going to be the biggest browser forever until it's
Which
beat
one?
by Chrome. Internet Explorer, right?
Oh, Internet
Remember in
Explorer.
the 90s that Firefox was the only browser, Mozilla Firefox, or it's
Yes.
called Mozilla to start, then Firefox. Then IE came out, and Internet Explorer was the big bane in people's designers' sides for a decade until it was phased
Yeah.
out in Chrome won.
Hmm.
We are, and then there was a web crawler and Alta Vista, and then Yahoo as the search
Yes.
engine, and everyone thought Yahoo was going to be the big thing. And then
Yep.
Google came out in 97, 98 and crushed them. And then we don't say Yahoo it, we say Google it. People don't even remember what Yahoo was.
Yeah.
So that's how early, I'm using this metaphor because it's important. That's how early we are in the AI race. We're before Google. We're before the big AI is going to come out. Now is the time to get involved. So go to type in ChatGPT into Google. Make sure you're not using one of the copycats that paid for a result that says it's ChatGPT. Those are fake, right?
Hmm.
People have to get really good at noticing a fake. Last night, my mother-in-law, my wife's mother, texted my wife and said, "Oh, apparently there's this video from Mark Carney, our new prime minister in Canada, saying that you can invest in this government mutual fund, and it could make you a lot of money. But we're not sure. Can you look into it?" There was a deep fake video of Mark Carney
Well,
selling this obvious, like from our young ears, we're like, this is obviously a scam.
ah.
But people can't tell the difference, right? And it's gonna happen to me too, right? Like it
Hmm.
happens to everybody, right? When you get older, you don't realize that technology. If you watch the mouth of Mark Carney, you could just barely tell it was AI'd,
Wow.
but nothing else was wrong. Everyone had five fingers. No one had an extra arm. It
Huh.
was clearly, it was an obvious fake from
Yeah.
my perspective because Mark Carney, he's like, if you sign up now, you will make $3,000 guaranteed. The Prime Minister of Canada is never going to say those words in his life, right? So
Never. Right.
I could tell it's fake like that. But what do my in-laws know? All they do is watch Facebook all day and just see people talking like this.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
you got to watch out for these fakes. So go on a ChatGPT, make sure you're using the real one, and just start talking with it and say, search this, search that. Get it to do a deep research project for you. Click the
Hmm.
deep research button if you have access to it, or maybe sign on for the $20 a month to get the access that I have,
Hmm.
and get it to do a deep research for you. It's like, I've always been really interested in birding, but I don't even know where to get started or how to do it. Or I'm interested in cameras, for example, but it's so technical and there's so many specifications. I don't even know how to get started. Can you do a research paper for me on cameras and what the best one for me would be and what all the different things mean and what I need to know? Get it to
Hmm.
do deep research and it will give you that information. It'll take 10, 15 minutes to open up 100 different browsers on 100 different pages, doing 100 different searches, collating and collecting the information, and it will present it to you. And you're going to see the value. You're going to see, wow, I don't need, I didn't need to take, like, what is stopping you right now? I'm talking to the listeners. What is stopping you right now from doing something you really, really want to do, but you just haven't gone around to it yet? Time. Well, ChatGPT can give you that freedom. It can give you that time, right? I never would have had the time to get into so many different things I'm into now, like the hypnosis, the music writing, everything. I wouldn't have had time to get into any of that if it
Hmm.
wasn't for ChatGPT. ChatGPT has completely and utterly changed my life. Now, there's two areas where it could change your life. You need to be very, very careful, though. Do not replace your actual doctor. But I was diagnosed with a very strange. Actually, I wasn't diagnosed. They didn't know what was going on with me last year. I was having weird chest pains, but they're like, "Well, there's nothing wrong with your heart. GTF, like get out of here, buddy.
Uh,
You're probably just having a panic attack. Like get out of our, because say what you want about the Canadian medical system, but it is
mhm.
basically always doing triage, right? There's always
uh,
someone who's worse hurt than you that they need to
mhm.
give more attention to, and rightfully so. Like
Yeah,
if someone's has a serious heart attack, I should GTF the emergency room, and they should go
yeah,
help that guy, and I fully admit that. But still, I'm having these chest pains. I'm like, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And I was able to do research on consensus and ChatGPT with actual academic paper, journal papers.
hmm,
It started giving me some diagnoses and told me it's probably long COVID is what it determined. And it's probably works like this and like that. I'm like, okay, so what do I do? Well, you need these drugs. Well, the doctor won't give me these drugs. They don't even believe it, a word you say, ChatGPT. So it's like, fine, use these over-the-counter medications. And
incredible.
so I have been, and I swear to you, 100% difference, night and day difference, right? It put
Yeah,
me on plant sterols, 10 grams of vitamin C a day, a few other things. I could go on and on and on. It's quite a list of supplements,
yeah,
garlic, things like that. But like kind of like a rash that I would get, totally cleared
hmm,
up. If
yeah,
that's not TMI, I apologize, folks. But and that's, I know it's doing something because that rash is gone,
yeah.
right? So and
And
I,
you
I
know what?
knew that rash.
I think the key behind it is you have to give it enough information, like your
Mhm.
age, what you have. But if you give it all, the more information you give
Yes,
it, the more precise it is with a
yes,
solution. Is that true? It's
yes,
crazy.
yes. And there's two pro tips I can help with that as well. One,
Hmm,
tell it what perspective you want it to talk from.
hmm,
So be like, I want you to talk from an expert perspective. All I want is truth. I want scientifically
hmm,
verifiable this or that. And I also make sure it's latched into consensus, and I make sure it searches consensus. I make sure it doesn't just start blathering on from its own opinion. You go,
hmm.
no, I don't want your opinion. Go search consensus. And then it'll go search consensus. It'll pick out, like, here's the academic journal articles I found. Like, so and so and so and so in 2017 proved this. They proved that. Here's the
Yeah.
science. And it's like, absolutely right. That's pro tip one. Pro tip two, get it to rate everything at a scale of 1 to 10, because
Oh,
it'll say things like, "Oh, this could be a moderately a problem. Maybe if this happens." It's like, one, stop trying to make everything less controversial. Just be fair. Don't
hmm,
go overboard either, but be fair.
hmm,
At one, two, rate everything on a scale of 1 to 10. How sure you are of this, and how severe it is, and it'll tell
hmm.
you. And you're like, 2 out of 10 sureness that vitamin B is going to help with this. Well, then why did you recommend it? But it just goes off the list of what it read, right? So
Right,
if you
right.
get it to rate things on a scale of 1 to 10, it tells you how much it's sure, how sure it is of this, and how severe
Oh,
it can be. And then you can be like, now you know how to read through its political correct speak of
yeah.
OpenAI not wanting it to say anything too controversial.
Right, right. No, that's so cool, and it makes sense. I gotta say one more about business. One thing that with me, I was putting off doing this proposal. Somebody gave me, we were talking on through emails, about a video proposal, and it was pretty complex, and there was a
Mhm.
lot to it. And I'm like, I don't want to write it. And all of a sudden, it's like, Bing, Chat GPT. So I took
Yeah.
pasted the entire
Yep.
thread. It was like
Yep.
1,000, 2,000 words.
Yep.
Make a proposal. BVS Film Productions. Boom. Rip. Done.
Done.
One
Done.
second
Yeah.
instead of 2 hours of
Yeah.
my time.
Yeah. I
That's
haven't
so,
written a report
yeah,
or a proposal. I haven't written a sales email for the last year,
unbelievable. Yeah, it's
right?
amazing.
In
Amazing.
fact, I have my own special save GPT with the previous consensus finds of all the
Yes.
sales psychology on how to best sell everything
Hmm.
and how to write the best, most persuasive email. And I just click it and say, okay, here's the email. I also have it tied into something, an app. I can't remember what it's called, but it allows me to talk to Chat GPT. I think that has it built in as well.
It does.
But I
There's a little
use,
microphone. Yeah.
yeah, I use something called Mia, but I believe it's
Mm.
built into ChatGPT now, anyways. And I press the button and I talk to it, right?
Yeah.
I have because my typing is terrible, right? So I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
talk to it, and I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, all right, I'm going to start an email now. Okay, hi, so and so, blah 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 blah, this, and then ChatGPT, make sure you add in the best persuasive sales things for this, and then blah blah blah. Oh yeah, I'm glad your golf game went well, haha. Anyway, and then I just do that off the
Yeah.
cuff. It takes me 30 seconds.
Hmm.
And it saved
Hmm.
me half an hour of work of painstakingly going through this email and be like, how do I sell
Yeah.
this right? And how do I word this? And it's
Yes.
perfect grammar, perfect everything, copy, paste, boom, done.
Yeah. That's exactly right. So I mean, I think out of everything, it's such a time saver. Out of
Oh,
everything, that's all we really value around, from a standpoint of business, even in life,
Yeah.
what you can do with your time, which is amazing. All right, big question. If you could go back to your 18-year-old self, what one thing would you tell your 18-year-old self?
My goodness. My goodness. What a
Mine
great
would be
question.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, yeah. Yeah, that's going to explode too, even bigger than it is currently.
Mm,
Um, I would probably, can't remember if we talked about this before the podcast or on it, but I would probably go back to my 18-year-old self and tell him, read philosophy, read Plato, read Aristotle, read all the greats in history that you want, because you want to know the permanent universal truths, right? That's who I am at heart as a philosopher. I want to know what that is. But don't go to academia and try to do it for academia, because it's not the job you think it is. It's not the 90s anymore. You're not going to be
yeah.
wearing a tweed jacket with patches, sitting in front of a fireplace, drinking brandy, and discussing the ladder of love with students in your office. Like, that's not how it
Yeah.
works. You're not in Canada anyway.
Hmm.
And I could have maybe stayed with music and maybe be happier, but then again, maybe not. Music comes with if you get popular in music, there's a lot of temptations, the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That probably wouldn't have
Hmm.
been good for me either. So, I have no complaints. I have no complaints.
Yeah.
Have things gone awry sometimes in my life? And definitely, if you want to do a different podcast, we could talk about that.
Yeah.
For example, my first job was cooking at an Irish pub that, unbeknownst to me, was a front for the Hells Angels to sell cocaine.
Oh,
So I've had lots of weird situations. I've gotten to really weird. I have a really weird life story, and weird, amazing things have happened to me.
yeah.
Um,
Those are
but
life lessons, life
yeah,
experiences, right?
yeah. But once you have a positive outlook, once you realize that positivity is the only philosophy. The positivity is the positive philosophy. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't need what do you want? Negative? No, then make positivity the positive philosophy. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want? Do you want bad or good? You got those two choices. So choose good because it's good. It took me a long time to be able to verbalize that and understand how philosophically important that is, but also
Hmm.
how spiritually important that is, and how to bring that back and reinforce that in everything I do. So
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
that's probably what I would tell 18-year-old Josh. And I would say,
Okay.
that girl you're going out with, you're going to marry her, and things will turn out all right. It'll be pretty good.
That's awesome. All right. So the last question I have, other than how to reach you, would be, so the people that are afraid of AI right now, the people that are afraid of the future, it's going to take over the world. What do you have to say to them? And, what can they look forward to?
That, again, that's a great question too. Um, and it's a really, and I appreciate that, and I sympathize with that. And I have empathy for that. I imagine, the horse and buggy people, right when cars were coming out. I can imagine, horses are lovely creatures. Humans and horses have a lovely relationship. Many people love their pets and animals, horses included. And there is something special about that, an industry that existed, what, for 1,000 years, probably something like that at that point. But did it stop cars from coming? No. Can you stop cars from coming? No. Are they going to stop doing AI? Nope. So you can't beat them. So you gotta join them, right? You
Yeah.
gotta get into it sooner than everybody else does. You gotta get into it now while things are still opening. This is still the Wild West. You can still find that cache of gold, right? There's still huge opportunities. You could get onto Suno and be generating music, and people would be like, "Oh, this is amazing," and you just don't tell anybody how you did it, or you could easily supplement things. You might find, surprisingly, that ChatGPT is the nicest person you know, and you love talking to them and just bouncing ideas off them and telling them how your day is, and things like that. You might be surprised to find, right, that the nicest person you ever met is actually an AI, or the crystallization of all the nice people out there.
Hmm.
Really is what it is, and it's just an echo chamber of the nice people out there. You might start believing in positivity and humanity again through, by way of an AI midwife, right? You might realize and get access back to that,
Yeah.
and save hours of your day, live better, do better. It's the world is your oyster, but you have to realize that being a little bit stick in the muddy here is and I don't mean to offend anybody, but just consider this: being a little bit stick in the muddy here is just going to put you left behind, stick in the mud while everyone walks past you and they're having this great future that's going to happen anyway, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
So get on it now, jump on the bandwagon, because there's so many ethical ways of using it, and there's so many good ways in using it that, in my opinion, it completely outweighs any of the negativity, at least we're seeing with it right now.
Wow. Yeah, so true. So true, Josh. Well, hey man, I really appreciate you being on the show. This has been awesome and it's great hearing some of the new things. I'm sure our listeners are going to love this. So how can people reach you if they want to use your services?
Sure. So the easiest way is just to email me. It's my full name you see there on the screen, joshbachynski@gmail.com. Yeah, hit me up. You want to talk philosophy? I'm also really big into the ancient alien hypothesis and the stuff that's going on right now with the UAPs flying around. You
Yeah,
guys, you want to talk about that? I'm super into that. You're interested in the book or tabletop role playing games or anything I've been talking about? Just send me an email and we could chat.
Nice, nice. Awesome, dude. Well, greatly appreciated. And we'll look forward to getting this out to all our people.
Thanks, Dan, and everybody. Good luck.